Today's Tuesday, it's actually August the 1st, and we're in Arta. Today is market day in Arta, so we've come to have a look around. We've actually started at what looks to me a very interesting place. Our video today starts at Arta railway station, but unfortunately there is no longer any railway here. The track's been taken up, and not sure what it is at the moment. It doesn't go anywhere that way at all. It's now been blocked off, and the building, the old railway station, has become an information office, and across the other side of the platforms that looks to be closed up. That's sad really, because you think this would be quite a useful station to have, and maybe with the expansion of the railway system here in Mallorca, one day we will have trains back in Arta, and we'll be able to come up here. We've really enjoyed using the trains going to Inca and Majorca, and we intend to use it to go to some other places too. Looks like they're on a fun outing. More of them to go on. There are lots of lovely dirt tracks around here. I wasn't really expecting to see that.
What are they?
Well, I don't know, I used to call them dune buggies. And we know where we're actually staying, up near to Torta. The roads are really rough, so something like that should be quite fun. But what I do hope is that they're not actually going in the dunes, but on tracks that have been set aside for them, which I think is probably what's going to happen. That looks like lots of fun. They've got their dust masks on, they've got their goggles on, so they obviously know what to expect. So parking here today was not too bad. We actually followed signs to a public car park, which is a 5-minute walk from the town, and we managed to find a space. In fact, there was quite a lot of space if we prepared to go on the dirt, which is where we're parked. The building in front looks very official. It's actually the Guardia Civil barracks. Not sure what they call them. The Guardia Civil here do tend to have barracks, and it's almost like a semi-army police. Last night we came for a walk through Arta, and we managed to find somewhere to go to eat, and one of the waitresses who was working in the bar says it gets really busy here with all the stalls up and down, and she's very right. It's only 10:30 in the morning, and it's already very busy, and we do particularly like our markets here in Mallorca. And I guess we do see the same thing, but somehow it's a little bit different when you're walking through a different town, and things are in different places, so you're not sure what you're looking at. And this particular street that we're in is a very long pedestrianised street, so I think most of it's going to be on this street. Anita's told me I need to wait for her every now and again. I've already strayed a little bit too far. So masks are not compulsory unless you can't socially distance. There's someone walking up and down telling everybody to wear a mask, because this market is quite difficult to keep socially distanced, so people are wearing masks. Just about everybody is wearing a mask. It does give you that little bit of security. We've got the street buskers. At the moment we're on a bit of a staycation here in the north of the island. Yesterday we visited Cala Torta, Cala Mesquida, and we actually then came down into Arta. And trying to upload videos in a place which has got very limited Wi-Fi is proving to be challenging, but hopefully given a day or so I will have sorted that out. So now we're branching off the main street. Quite popular, these place names. So you buy a letter or a number for your house. We have them at our house. Just like most of the markets here, you can hear lots of different languages. So it's not all Spanish and Mallorquin, lots of other languages. And this is a part actually we didn't come to last night, so this is a little bit different. See some of the shops here. We stayed in a hotel just outside of Arta last night, and it was refreshingly cool up in the mountains there, up in the hills. There was a breeze, and we both slept very well. Some interesting stalls. We didn't actually see this road, so we didn't see this place where they do tapas. Not sure if we're going to be eating here today or elsewhere. A lot of artisan things here. Locally made jewellery, toys, ornaments. When I read about the market in Arta, it did say it was one of the biggest and one of the best. So it's actually looking really good. Wow, look at all those peppers. Got some hot ones amongst those. And all the different chorizos and sausages and cheeses. Oh. No. And then we've got cakes, pastries, coca. Looks like a pizza, there's no cheese in it though. Pasties that look like pasties, but they just taste completely different. But all really nice. And oranges, so you can have your fresh orange juice. We had lots of fresh orange juice with our breakfast this morning. That was really nice.
So we're not hungry now.
Yeah. So the sight of food is not actually exciting me at the moment, but there is plenty of lovely looking food here. Even bottles of wine, which is tempting Anita, I'm sure, but we're going to avoid that, because otherwise she'll give it to me to carry. The lady who was serving us this morning at breakfast is actually from Uruguay, and this is a Mexican stall, so my goodness, it's an Israeli, I guess.
Nice street food.
So different food from different areas. And well, I'm almost feeling as though I wish to be hungry, but I'm not. Bunyols. Bunyols are these are particular of Angela, but bunyols are a very typical thing of Mallorca. And then the sweets, well, sweets are always very popular at these markets. And I was going to say with children, but it's mostly adults who are picking up the sweets here. Showing you the length of that. Lots of lovely colours. Really does look pretty. And then this one, probably a little bit more healthy, some nuts. And then we go on to the sugared fruit. Aloe vera. Sorts of things. There's definitely lots of nuts here. Look at those Brazil nuts. I do like my nuts. And you can have crisps, freshly made. Now we've got a problem. Do we go this way? Do we go this way? I can't believe this. I hope Monroe's watching because we've just found an Indian and it's called Namaste. One of our favourite restaurants in Palma is called Namaste. I don't think they are related, but you never know. When I do these videos, this one's no exception, I usually do them in 360. One for the boys. So that if you're watching in 360, you can decide which stalls you want to have a look at. So you don't have to look at the way I'm pointing the camera. You can just move your phone around or move your screen around, and it allows you to look at all the different things. You can even look at me if you like. Let's see why you'd want to do that though. It's one of those artisan things, which is a game. Beads on wire.
Yeah.
Many of the stalls will have different artwork. And the restaurant we were in last night had a number of pieces of artwork on the wall which were for sale. A little bit out of our price bracket. And so we've come to the end of this, so it looks like we have to do a 180. We've got to turn around, but I'd just like to have a look to see where we are and what we're doing. So the car's coming down here. If you're going down there, mate. There's a road going up there, and let's see a parking sign. And lots of lovely narratives. We'll go back down here because at the other end we've got the square. And we walked into the square last night, surrounded by restaurants, lots of looking interesting places, but they were all pretty full by the time we got there, so we couldn't find a table at a restaurant that we wanted to eat at. So we just walked a little bit further, and we actually sat inside a restaurant, which was quite pleasant because it was a hot evening, and they had the air conditioning on, so it was nice and cool in there.
Nice.
Yeah. Lovely buildings here as well, stone buildings. Some under construction. How they do the constructions here. Everything modern is made out of concrete and breeze block, more or less. They don't use a lot of wood anymore. Wood's very expensive here. Because it all has to be imported, has to be shipped in. There's no local wood that's used for building anyway. So concrete is a material which can be made on the island. We've got plenty of stands, plenty of limestone, so we've got all the materials really to make clay. Having said that, the big cement factory is closed down in Rosetta.
I get that for Jamie, that's really nice, isn't it? I'll tell you.
Sí, no, y ahora recién fue uno y estaba abierto todavía y que si no, no se va a poder montar.
So Anita's seen something she likes and she's asking me for money. Anita's promised me she's only going to buy light things because I'm going to end up having to carry them. We've only just started the day. So that's the road we came down, and then we went off down there, and that's Namaste Indian restaurant. We have to investigate a little bit further later on. So I do prefer to go to Spanish Mallorquin restaurant on holiday as I am on my staycation. So this is the square, the town square, and there were lots of tables and chairs around here yesterday, and today it's full of stalls. And one of the things I did spot yesterday as we came, in the corner we have a mercat municipal, a municipal market. So it'll be interesting just to have a look around an indoor market here. They're usually very good. Lots of lovely fresh fruit, vegetables, which are mostly local produce. Beautiful colours. Olives. And look at all those different breads. I do like these brown breads. We toast them and we have them with garlic, olive oil and tomato. Absolutely delicious. We're going to head back to the square, shall we?
It's a nice goat's cheese down here. See that?
I'm not carrying goat's cheese around with me all day. It'll be stinking to high heaven. The stinking bishop, if any of you know what that is. Quite often these markets have a fish section. Sometimes they do get a little bit smelly. I can't see that they have one today. maybe that would be the area for the fish. I'm going to go down there because I think it probably is. Yeah. So here you get some fresh fish. These will have been caught and bought this morning. So the fishmonger here will have gone to the local fish market where the boats have come in, and these were auctioned off early this morning. So the way it all works is the fishmongers go to where the port where the fish come in. The fish all go along on a conveyor belt and they're auctioned off. And this all happens between about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then they bring them to the restaurants. So the people who are buying them are either restaurateurs, or they're fishmongers like that, or even the supermarkets. So we've actually been and watched this at 3 o'clock in the morning. We've actually taken school groups to the one in Palma, which is obviously the big main one, and it's quite fascinating to watch people buy things at this auction. It's all done now with computers, so each of the people who are purchasing has a remote control, and they choose the price, and so the price starts off at a figure, say 100, and it counts down and down and down until someone stops it and says that's the price I'm willing to pay, and that tray is yours, whatever's in that tray. Which is a fascinating thing to watch. Well, there's so many things to see here, I'm not sure which one to go down. I need to like to look at the flowers, I'm sure. It's very colourful.
Flowers here.
But we're on our holiday, so you can't actually buy anything. Because by the time you get it home, it'll be dead. If you do come to markets in Mallorca, they are really nice places to go to, but just a word of warning that, like markets anywhere else in the world, they are places where you just need to keep your eye out on what you're doing. Put your hands in your pockets as much as you can, because you don't want to be losing your wallet. And ladies, keep an eye on your handbag. And I've got a backpack on. Just keep moving, otherwise somebody can be dipping their hand in it, and it happens so often. It's so sad when people tell you that they've had their wallets taken. It's not necessarily the money that's the issue, it's all the hassle with cards and driving license and ID cards and all the sorts of things that have to be cancelled and restarted. So just a word of warning that markets are like that. I don't think markets in Mallorca or anywhere special or different. They're just tidy places where these people collect. I've just actually come to the end of the square, really busy square. These are big pieces of material. I'm not sure what they are, whether they're wraps or what, but €6. It seems incredibly cheap for such big things. You could use these to hang on the wall, and some of them I think have got really quite nice patterns. We went to a concert in San Salvador, and San Salvador is near to Dea, and there they've got old tapestries on the wall. I can see those pieces of material being used in a similar way to cover up walls, in the same way as they used tapestries in ancient times to cover up walls. I'm not sure we can fit down there, but yesterday there was some activities going on down here as part of the local fiestas. So today And this week is local fiesta time here in Arta. So besides the things that are going on in the market, then there's all the fiesta type things that are going on. It's a little bit crowded down there. Should we try? Just been listening to some Peruvian panpipe music, so I'm not sure whether I can include that in the video or not. I'll try to include it.
To the other side, because light is coming.
It may be that I have to cut that out because they were actually playing a piece of copyrighted music, so all becomes an issue when you put things like that onto YouTube. Nice polished stones. And yesterday, as we walked past here, this was full of people, and the chairs were all out, and there was some entertainment going on, which was part of the fiestas. So we didn't come into this part. Handmade clothing. So the shirt that Anita's just bought was one that was made by one of the local artisans. It's actually the man's wife that was making it. That's where the stage was, right down there. And they've even got the porta cabins out there for the portaloos for the toilets. We're just heading back towards the street. I hope I've got Anita with me. She's following up behind. She's a bit worried I might disappear into the distance without her.
Ja, genau.
Carry on.
No me voy la comida.
It's a basket worth of different sorts we've seen here. Some small and some big. These are all multicoloured. The ones we were seeing yesterday were much more traditional. So I've lost Anita. But what's new? Stand over here to move out of the way. So come out. Oh, I can glimpse her. It is always a little bit dangerous to bring Anita to these places. She does like to shop a lot. I like to video, she likes to shop. You found anything else, dear? Shoes. Right, so I I've been told I can walk up slowly, and there's the clown to entertain the children. It's got the balloons. You can see just how crowded this street is, which is why the lady at the beginning was telling people to put their masks on. Anita's given me the go-ahead to walk slowly. We're in Spain, we're in Mallorca, and that's what the streets are like. I do have a few people who watch from the United States of America, and they're always quite fascinated by how narrow our streets are here in Mallorca. You wouldn't be getting many of your cars down, some of them. This is a place we saw last night. It's actually, it says it's a museum. I'm not sure whether that's true or not, but art. And the thing that caught Anita's eye straight away were the characters in there, which are depictions of the giants. And there's one actually on the back shelf there, which you probably can't see very well. She's got a very long nose. But part of the fiestas in many of the little villages here are the giants. Those are not giants really, but here in many of the villages have these huge giants, maybe 12 feet tall, and they form part of the fiestas. 12 feet, nearly 2 meters. I don't know why I say 12 feet, it just comes off the tongue more naturally, I suppose. Anita gave me 2 lottery tickets this morning. Neither of them were winners. So I'll just have to keep making the videos. So if you haven't subscribed, now's a good time to hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it gives us a little bit of encouragement. I'm just going to head up to the top of this street. I'm sure Anita will catch me up. This is what I was talking about, the basket type work. This elephant here caught Anita's eye yesterday. It does actually say, if you take a photograph, tag me, and it's barban.mallorca. BABAM.Mallorca. Mallorca with a double L. So I'll try to remember to tag them on that in the video. It gives them a little bit of publicity as well. I could be waiting at the top of this road for quite a long time for Anita to come. We have an interesting building which has a chandelier. It's an official looking sort of building, but looks as though they're selling things inside. Looking back, you can see that it is a really long road, and all the bunting that's out there is actually cut out of cloth. It's material, it's not paper, it's not plastic, it's cut out of cloth, and that's just because it's the fiestas, and when we have fiestas here in Mallorca, they know how to party. I'm going to turn the camera off now and just wait for Anita. I could be here for quite a while. So Anita's been trying shoes on down the road, and I've just been waiting here for her. We've just been into this interesting building with a beautiful chandelier there, but it's actually a charity shop in Spain. It's a little bit different from charity in in Mallorca, in England. It's called Caritas, Charities Caritas, and we just bought a few little things there.
This is, after we go up.
This is the town hall, the Ayuntamiento. So lovely narrow streets and cars. I like walking through these old streets because you see all the different things. So we've got lovely architecture. It needs a little bit of TLC, but you can see how grand these buildings were. Having a door like that. And that's your another grand building coming up on the left. Another street. Just looking up, this actually is under construction or reconstruction.
San Salvador is this way.
And this clearly an area for residents, but it's in the shade and it's cool. And again, just look at these magnificent doors. As you're walking through streets like this in Palma or anywhere here, at certain times of the year they will have what looks really like a piece of plastic outside the doors, and it's really to deflect the rain. So if you ever see those by the doors, that's what they're. We're not expecting any rain, so we probably won't see any today. There's a hotel right in the middle. Walking through these streets is quite pleasant because we're actually in the shade. There's another bunting. And this is actually a residencia. In England we'd call this an old people's home, and they've really been hit hard by the COVID, just as they have in many countries, and they've now tightened the restrictions on how people can actually visit them. So pretty much you've got to be double jabbed, or if you're not double jabbed you've got to be have a test to make sure that you've not got COVID. There's someone on a cool home for sale. So these are areas of Arta that are kept for residents, for parking that is. There's another one for sale. A bit too far for me to drive to work. We are almost 100 kilometers from where we live, and therefore where we work. But There is another car park. Big car park with plenty of space. We're nearly at the top of the hill now. It's quite a nice, gentle walk up.
You feel as if we've gone up it all, actually. Waiting for the million steps.
Perhaps the million steps are to come.
There's a cafeteria up there.
And this is the Palacio San Salvador Hotel. Maybe next time we come, we might stay somewhere like that. Apologies if I am heavy breathing, but we are starting to go up the hill.
Take your mask off, don't you?
I'm going to take my mask off. Oh. And we try and get whatever little bit of shade we can. You can see we're getting higher and higher. Remains of a windmill by the looks of things on the hill over there. Used to be, when we first came to Mallorca, hundreds upon hundreds of windmills. And a lot seem to have disappeared or fallen into disrepair. I guess they're quite expensive.
This way.
I'm going to carry on walking this way. Yes, it's getting steeper. Anita says there's no steps, but we've seen steps now, and the road is quite steep. Luckily we've come in the morning, so it's not the full heat of the day, but
Goodness.
oh goodness, she says. I'm going to turn the camera off, otherwise you're just going to get me. You're just going to get me huffing and puffing. But before I do that, I'm going to go over to the other side. There's a car coming down, and just show you the view just on the other side of the road, because it does look quite spectacular. So you can't actually see where we're staying, but it's somewhere up through there on the other side of those hills. Lots and lots of beautiful countryside here. Interesting buildings. I'm going to cross the road and get into the sunshine, out of the sunshine. Well, we've just walked up from the village of Arta, which is behind us, all down there, to San Salvador, and that's where we're going to have a look around. So when I got my breath back, we will continue.